Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay at home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight, got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet, cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. I know it's been a long break, but I think it's been a well-deserved break / vacation, or just some time away from these microphones and out of your ears for a bit so that you could hear your children screaming from the room next door a little bit easier. How you doing, Danny?
Hey, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Enjoying my summer so far. How about you?
I had to remember how to do this thing. I was like, man, a couple weeks off. I was like, got back here behind the microphone, and I was just like, okay, is this like getting back on a bicycle? I don't know.
Getting a little out of practice.
Just a little out of practice. Yeah. But while we've been away, there's been a lot going on in the world of home dad life and just HomeDadCon, especially.
Mhm.
And tonight we're going to kick off our series where we get to talk to some speakers. We're going to talk to one speaker tonight and kind of move through the weeks talking to different presenters about them, what they are interested in, all kinds of stuff. We're going to see what makes them tick, what makes them move, all that fun stuff, and hopefully that'll give you a little bit more insight into who they are when you actually get to meet them in person in September.
Yep. Get a chance to get just a little taste of what the speakers will be talking about, and kind of whet your appetite.
Yeah.
When our speaker tonight is someone that's probably everybody is aware of them, let's say, and I don't want to blow the secret unless you do, but definitely somebody that has been to the convention and has helped out the convention, has been a speaker at the convention, and someone that I'm really looking forward to hearing from again. So
Definitely.
I think hopefully it'll whet that appetite for everyone else as well. Be like, oh yeah, it's another reason to go to HomeDadCon.
Yeah, I'm excited to have them on the show. I had the ability to actually get to spend some one-on-one time with this person after they presented out in Phoenix, and just got a chance to really enjoy some time getting to know each other. And it was a blast. We had a lot of fun. I came away with just a new look on things, especially on my hands when it was all said and done. But on top of that, too, just had a great time. I had fun in introducing them to TikTok Live, so that was that was a good time. We had some fun with that. Which, by the way, funny story about that got reported for some reason, and I don't know why. It was really weird.
How dare you?
I'm like, we weren't even doing anything.
Doing?
Really, I don't know. But yeah, so that's going to be fun getting to talk to them. But at the same time, his notoriety precedes him in the fashion of, I was in my hometown, and I ran into a young lady who was opening up a shop for nail polish. And we got to talking, and I mentioned, oh yeah, like, by any chance, do you know this person on Instagram? And they're like, oh yeah, I follow them on Instagram. And so I reached out.
Nice.
So I reached out, and I was like, hey, I was in my hometown. This is what happened. And they were like, oh, that's really cool. So
brush with fame.
Yeah, something like that. But it was just really funny. I'm like, small world.
Yeah. You're talking about building the connection with them. And that's kind of a lot of what we talk about with the convention and what it is. And a really great way to build connection with another of our members is to share a room.
Yes.
And as we're getting, like, what are we, 72 days out now? 70 odd days out?
Well, we are recording. We're at 72 days. We'll be less than that when this goes out. So we'll be in the 60s at that point.
Heading into 2 months here, right? And there aren't a lot of rooms left.
No, we're going to be playing sardines in the hotel rooms, I think.
I've already got a roommate. I've got 2 double beds. That's the standard room or whatever. And I've already looked at it. I'm like, I'm going to get an air mattress.
Yeah.
Just going to take an air mattress with me because I'm driving, so I can take whatever I want. I'm going to take an air mattress because I'm pretty sure somebody's going to end up sleeping in that room with us.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's really not a bad idea.
My idea. What are you talking about? Of course, it's not a bad idea. I'm a genius.
I might have to bring some with me just to lend out to some guys that are flying in that might need a floor space type of deal. So,
yep.
I like that. I like that idea a lot. We can get some branded National at Home Dad air mattress. No, I was kidding.
I don't love an air mattress. It's really not, where I'd want to go. So I really don't want to put somebody on an air mattress. If I could find a way to share the bed, I would. But it's way better than the floor.
But by golly, if they roll a 1 on a D20 dice, guess where they're going to be sleeping?
Did you bust my air mattress? Yeah.
Hey, man, we're playing dice in here. Oh, really? What for? To see who gets to sleep on the floor.
Yep. So you leave, and all I know is it won't be me. That's why I get my room early. So I'm not going to sleep on the floor.
That's right.
I actually looked at it this year. I almost went for like the queen room. It is, I think, a queen or king, whatever bed it has, but it's a single bed.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking at it like, I could just go without a roommate this year. I could just take that time and be by myself. And I got a lot going on. I need time to decompress. And if people come and visit or whatever, that room's got more space so they could hang out, but they just couldn't stay. And I'm really glad I didn't.
I had a really bad thought, dude, about that. So you get the king room and you rent out, or you put down 2 or 3 air mattresses, and you got dads there, and you got your own little dad harem around your kingly bed.
That's right. You there, bring me a drink.
More fun,
yes,
please.
Water, of course, water. Peel me a grape and give me some water because I'm dehydrated.
Exactly. I swear this isn't what happens at HomeDadCon. This is just us being really stupid.
But
oh my god!
If you think about it, when you were a kid, like a sleepover,
yeah,
and it was exciting and it was fun, and generally at the convention, if you're sharing a room with somebody, especially if you don't really know them, it's kind of like a sleepover.
Yep.
It's great. So, and fortunately, it is a good experience because we're not going to have a choice. There's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to get a room now.
Yeah,
going to have to room up.
So. It's gonna be interesting. So we'll see how it all plays out. I will say this too. As far as folks who have signed up, got applications, nominated people for the scholarship. We do have a good handful of folks who are opening up their rooms for space for scholarship recipients to stay in. So I don't want anybody to freak out in the fashion of like, well, what about that? What's going to happen there? Like, we have that part taken care of, and then based upon who doesn't get or who we don't have to use or whatever, then there's also some people in that fashion. So, but definitely roommating up is and I'm going to keep using that term, but roommating up is the way to
don't use that. I don't know.
It's my term, man. I coined it.
Yeah. You should get a T-shirt. Just
it goes in the Brock dictionary. I roommated up at HomeDadCon 2023.
Right? Get a little pin or something.
That's right. We can make stickers.
Patches are the thing now. I don't know
patches.
If you do that.
Well, yes, patches are
supposed to be making patches.
Yeah, no, I've got patches on my satchel bag. Yeah, definitely. But no, and it could have the
HomeDad chat patch.
And it could have the 2 thumbs up. I roommate up.
Oh my God, no.
Been a day.
No, please don't.
I don't know, man.
If you bring one though, I will happily take one and put it somewhere appropriate, on my laptop or something. I mean, seriously appropriate, not like bathroom door looks good.
Yeah, slap it on your forehead.
Yeah, walk around for it's only stayed for an hour. I'm a sweaty old man. It fell off.
Well, sweaty. We won't be as sweaty as it was in Phoenix, thank goodness.
Man, well, or it'll probably more sweaty because there was no sweating in Phoenix. It was gone.
I sweat in
It
Phoenix.
didn't, mine just poof, it was gone. I was dry the whole day and dehydrated constantly because I would start to sweat and you just see it just evaporate. It was crazy. I'm sorry. Phoenix, you're a wonderful place. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you for letting us be there.
Yes.
I'm not cut out to live there. That's all there's to it. Because dang. But anyway, Milwaukee's going to be much better.
Milwaukee is going to be much better. I'm looking forward to it, actually, especially right off the lake and everything. So that's exciting as well. I think there's going to be a lot of really cool places to walk around and see and
take pictures from the view.
Take pictures from the view. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Hey. Well, and then too, like, so I don't know that this has really been put out there, but we're doing a service project this year like we did last year, but it's at a park, I believe, is what we're doing.
Yep. Doing a park cleanup.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
And it's something geared with the run too. I'm not sure if the run is going to end at the park. Yeah, at the 5K. Because there's so many things going on. I don't have the whole schedule in my head. It's just like, oh, yeah, that's that day too. Oh, that's that day. Yeah, because we have a lot going on. I love it. I love it.
But the schedule is situated. That's the other thing. So
yeah,
which hasn't been talked about. So, but yeah, the schedule has been situated. I think it's just sort of like getting it prepped to actually like put it out there or whatever. But just a little bit of extra fun note there is that it is put together. The committee has done an amazing job getting it situated. And not only that, but like in a timely fashion, like well done for real. I mean, I know when we did Cincinnati, it got done pretty early. Phoenix was, had a decent time frame, but Milwaukee, knocking it out of the park, getting it done way early, and really locking in just some superb speakers, which that's the thing I'm excited about, since we have this well-built like way that we're going to be bringing these speakers in to talk to them prior and giving everybody a little like sneak peek into who they are. And I think that, using technology the way we have, being able to use like the Calendly to have people sign up for slots to be able to interview them. To me, like that's a huge step, I think, for our podcast to be able to just be like, hey, here, this is when we got availability. When are you good to come in? And that way we're not trying to like really search them out. So that's awesome.
Way easier. Yeah. And also they can set it at their, and we know this is our schedule every week, period.
Yep.
We don't move it. This is the time. So which week of the month can you make that time? Calendly's great. And I wish they'd sponsor us. Calendly, just let you know, I'll be happy to tell people how awesome you are if you want to send the organization some sponsorship. But really they are it's such a fantastic thing. I had a first time I did it was with either a doctor or a therapist. I don't remember exactly, but they said, yeah, just check my Calendly. And I'm like, what? So I'm going to tell you when I'm showing up? That was so weird for a doctor, right? It had to be a therapist, actually, because the doctor has usually an assistant to do it all. But, so talking to the therapist, they're like, yeah, just pick a time. These are my available times. I'm like, this is genius. So, yeah, as soon as we could, we got it set up for our podcast guests, and I love it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great. And so with that, we'll be back here in a few minutes with our guest. So stick around. We'll be right back. Become a member of the National At-Home Dad Network, an organization focused on providing advocacy, community, education, and support, connecting with households where dad is the primary caregiver of the children. We do this through our webinar and podcast series, mental health support groups, regular online social events, as well as our annual convention. The National At-Home Dad Network is a 100% volunteer organization. Without the generous support of its members and the community around it, we would not be able to continue the work that we do. Becoming a member gives you access to past convention speaker presentations, the ability to vote for board members annually, and ensures that the organization's fees and bills are in positive standing. Oh yeah, it should not go unmentioned that there is some cool swag headed your way if you decide to become a member. For only $35 a year, your membership provides you with the exclusive content only we can generate, And you'll be supporting an organization that benefits families all around the country and world by advocating for them, offering them community, providing education and guidance, and supporting them to grow in their parenthood journey. And one last thing, if you contribute $500 or more, you will become a lifetime member. Not only will you receive everything already mentioned, but also a certificate recognizing your status and an exclusive National At-Home Dad Network Challenge coin with our trademark logo, Dads Don't Babysit. So, what are you waiting for? Become a member today. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for hanging in with us. Like we said, we have a very special guest with us tonight. We have Jeffrey Bernstein in the house with his talking bird somewhere in the background, which you might hear. Who knows? Named Sylvester, I believe. Is that right? So
yeah.
And I bet at some point he saw a Twitty bird. Oh wait, he is the Twitty bird. So that's very confusing too for that certain Sylvester. But either way, anyway, I digress. Jeffrey, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. It's really awesome to be here. Very, very excited. Very excited.
Yeah. So as we were telling everybody, you had presented last year. You did this amazing breakout session where you taught all of us dads how to not only make our kids' nails all looking pretty, but also our own, and showed those off. And I completely shocked the heck out of my family by coming home with my nails painted.
I remember.
It was quite the talk of the town, to say the least. But it was an enjoyable time getting to spend time with you doing that.
I remember, and your TikTok.
Yes.
If you remember that TikTok that got banned.
my reported TikTok. See, he remembers. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh, I remember. I remember.
Since then, what have you been up to? How's the family? Tell us a little bit about what's going on with you.
Yeah. Well, when I was at HomeDadCon last, I was employed and balancing being a parent and full-time employee. Since then, I have resigned from my position, and I've decided to take the summer to be with the kids. For those that don't know me, I have 6-year-old twins, boy-girl twins, and they start first grade come end of next month. And we've just been, outside of driving me crazy, making tons and tons and tons of memories since my last day of work early June. So yeah, it's been awesome. Actually, it's been awesome.
That's exciting.
I think summer is the perfect opportunity to take time away from anything else and focus on your family. It's been awesome. Fantastic. Yeah,
it's been awesome.
Like you said, a little annoying. You know, they get under your skin a little bit. That's what kids do.
Yeah, but absolutely.
The way you put it is the way that I talk to my wife about things that we're doing is making memories.
Yep.
You know, someone told me once that once you become a parent, basically all you are from there on out is memories for your kids. You know? Yeah. And it's a little, almost sounds, existential dread coming in or something, but realistically.
Absolutely. No, for sure.
What it is, right?
It's a really great thing to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So all those opportunities you get through the summer to do whatever crazy thing your kids want to do.
Oh, you just have to seize them. Yeah. You just have to seize them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you've been hanging out in the summer with the kids, living the at-home dad life. What are some fun things that you've gotten to do with the kids that you wouldn't have gotten to do in the situation, being an at-home dad versus having, been in the workforce like you were a year ago?
Due to several thunderstorms and incoming weather that happened in the last year. And what used to be an incredibly peaceful creek to go creek stomping became a pretty mild rapid. Ooh, and we had to adapt our entire day. We brought like a donut ring because we used to lay in the donut ring because it was literally a 1 mile an hour current. And now we're dealing with 10 mile an hour gushing rapids to go through. And as we were exploring what used to be the area of beach that we would picnic on and tent on, not tent, but set up at for the day, was completely run over with water. So we hiked to that area through the water, which was crazy. And then on our way back, we saw this 5-foot water snake jump out of the water. And it was crazy. So that's one of our more recent favorite memories, talking about this water snake.
Yeah.
What else? There's a really great spot in Bucks County called Castle Park, or kids castle, depending on who you're talking to. It's like a life-size playground that's a castle for kids to go into. So that's been a really great place for us to explore. They've been loving going there.
Yeah, I would like
That
to go
sounds
there.
like,
So
yeah,
Just
that
saying.
sounds like
it's
fun.
really Google it, Kids Castle in Doylestown.
Yeah.
It's spectacular.
Are
I
they-
remember taking my niece and nephews there like 20 years ago, and it was as spectacular.
Do they get to
Wow.
take in wooden swords and wands and play all that out? No. Okay.
No, but there are definitely like wizards and wands and stuff like inside the castle. There's all sorts of decor
Uh-huh.
and like different things for them to be able to find and explore. But no, that stuff usually
So,
isn't there.
so in
And
other words, what
it's,
happens is that once all the kids go away for dinner, all the adults come and cosplay at the castle.
absolutely they do. I am totally certain of it. In fact, I should look at the Doylestown calendar and see if there's anything available. That sounds like fun.
They all sneak in after dark, and like the cops just know there's probably like a group of them in there playing D&D or something like that.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're talking my language.
Right, you have to go to D&D, and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to go as Gandalf, or do I go as Galadriel? Who do I want? I don't know.
I'm sorry, Galadriel.
I'm totally like, I even got like my mom the Nenya rings, so like I could rock that
Yeah.
out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking Galadriel. Yeah,
I mean, people are like, "Oh, Gandalf is awesome. He's one of them." I'm like, "Yeah. He's kind of awesome, but Galadriel is
Galadriel's amazing.
like,
Oh,
she's just. I literally
she's
looked
incredible.
at Sauron at one point and went, "No," and threw him out of
Yeah.
the world. Kind of, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tell me, have you seen Rings of Power? Have you gotten into that?
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I love it.
Okay, good, awesome. Yeah, ditto.
Me personally, I would want to be the guy from The Hobbit that has the rabbits. I can't think of his name. You know what
I think
character?
the
Sam,
brown wizard.
Samwise.
No,
the brown
no.
wizard.
The brown wizard. Yeah.
I don't remember his name. With the
Oh,
bird nest in his hair.
Radagast.
Radagast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked his character. I thought that it was a very unique one.
He's an interesting Ishtari. He's an interesting one. There's
Yeah.
not I wish there was more written. I'm a big fan of like all the writing and like the supplementary stuff that's been written about it. I wish there was more written about Radagast and the other wizards, but yeah, definitely an interesting one.
Well, I'm just going to put it out there. Your geek foo is strong. I'm impressed so far. I didn't know this about you. This is one of the new talk speakers. And I'm like, I'm in love. Let's talk about it more. The problem is I have like more of a surface level love or a surface level knowledge, but a deep love of Lord of the Rings. And it's just one of those unfortunate things. I'm like, oh yeah, this is amazing. And then people get really into it. And I'm like, I need somebody
Yeah.
to talk to you.
Well, we've
I'm
had
one of those-
Joshua.
yeah.
We've had Joshua Domash on this show before, and Joshua is a Lord of the Rings like fanatic, and so
Okay.
to
It
the
sounds like I
point
need
where
to meet them.
yeah, well, that'll be hard. He unfortunately he won't be able to. He doesn't. He comes into every once in a while the Dad Lounge, but he's not able to be a part of the HomeDadCon just because of his background as being Jewish. So he like I think like Saturdays like is like a no electronics or something like that.
Yep,
So that's
absolutely
that's
for the
big one
Sabbath,
for him.
sure.
Yeah. So but we've had him on the show. He is just an avid fan of Lord of the Rings to the point where like he's picked through the Rings of Power pretty hard. Actually,
There's a lot to pick about it. Yeah, unfortunately, but
he wasn't able to swallow all of the
I get
No.
it.
idiosyncrasies, let's say, of the show. And yeah, I mean, it's
I
completely
agree. As a fan, like as a fan of the writing, I completely concur. How do I say it? For the sake of the art and the literature that they were able to work with, I'm super impressed with the story and the narrative that they were able to weave together. And it was entertaining.
Yes.
And believable. I wish
Yeah.
that there were certain personality traits, like for Galadriel, like I don't know, like yes, she's very feminist, but it's like she's not like what's the word I'm looking for? She turned into like this trauma-induced warrior, like with the death of her brother, and like that's not who she is. But she is a fighter, and that's definitely something that's spoken about in like the literature and throughout the canons. Like she's strong, very strong from the very beginning.
So I have to ask this question though, because it seems like you guys are knowledgeable enough to possibly answer this for me, who I am not a like I love the book. I love the movies. And they're very entertaining to me. So in Ring of Power, you have the gentleman that shows up and he's running around with like the Hobbit-ish people, or whatever. Is
Like
that
you're talking about the man from the sky.
yeah, the man from the sky? Is that
Yeah.
Gandalf? Is that kind of the idea? Is that
So it's
supposed
so
to?
interesting because my running theory is that yes, it's Gandalf, and there are a ton of clues that are dropped.
Yeah.
Perhaps the biggest one is I think it was in the last episode where he says something with respect to it doesn't smell as foul. And one of the lines that he says in the Mines of Moria, which occurs in the Fellowship of the Ring, is he remembers a distinct path through the mines based on how something smells.
Yes.
And it was just a very poignant moment. But there are other things too. For example, in the very beginning, when he arises from the flames, from the impact, we know that the Ishtari came on stars. So we know that he's one of the few that were sent by the I believe it was the Valar that sent them to fight Sauron. Ultimately, that was their main mission. But anyway, he masters fire very quickly, and that's
Yes.
something that Gandalf was known for as an Ishtar. Was his mastery of fire. And
Good. Well, that helps
yeah.
me to feel good because that's what I was thinking the entire time I was watching. I was like, this is Gandalf.
Yeah.
So I had that feeling from like the
Totally.
very beginning. So that makes me feel
It took me to like
better.
the last episode to put it in, and I was like, okay, that's who they're putting as Gandalf for this age. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. There we
Yeah.
go.
I didn't want to commit to it. You know, I'm
Me
like,
neither.
it would be awesome. It would be so cool, but
It would be
don't
really
know.
cool.
We don't
Exactly.
know. But yeah, I agree. I'm like, it's gotta be. Come on.
It's got to be. It's got to. I mean, there's a whole Reddit subthread that I've gotten way too lost in, and with people who are significantly more knowledgeable than me. It's really cool to see the different theories, like in the way people are picking it apart and enjoying it, ripping it apart again, and then putting it back together. Like it's at the end of it, it's entertaining. And there's a really cool podcast that is adjunct to it that's available on Amazon that was really entertaining to listen to. They bring some of the actors on there.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, really,
Okay.
I thought it was pretty cool.
No, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And I love the fact that we're getting to learn this about you because I don't think otherwise we probably would have got into this conversation. So
I know the last time you and I were together, it was really all about nails. So it's kind of, but yeah, this is my geek side for sure.
hey, there's nothing wrong with that. We embrace that. We embrace that. So it's all good. That's pretty much what Danny and I do is we talk a lot about geekdom on this show regularly, it seems like. So.
I love it.
Well,
Even my kids are following in my footstep. I think it was my daughter who was watching some fantasy show on their iPad, and we were listening to it in the car, right? That's right. It was in the car ride down to Virginia on our family vacation. And they copped one of the lines, speak friend and enter, as a riddle to get into a mountain, right? So my husband who's driving goes melon. And the kids are like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like enough. So of course it's like a whole Lord of the Rings reference. And they're like, what do you mean it's Lord of the Rings? It's this show that I'm watching. I'm like, no, guys, please listen, just stop for a moment. See, the way fantasy works is that it builds on other fantasies that have already been written. And when some of those stories become so famous and loved, pieces of that make their way into other stories as a way to say, hey, I was influenced by you.
Yes.
And I don't think that they quite understood that concept. Again, they're six, but we tried.
It's a good time to start your base stuff where you need that understanding of bigger things. But yeah, maybe they didn't get it, maybe they did. But
yeah,
it's definitely I'm always give them too much information. That's what I've done with my kids. It's always wait. Dad has a lecture.
Yes.
Just give me a minute. Well, give me 7 minutes. I'm gonna talk about this thing, and then you can just smile and nod and move on and leave it.
Exactly.
Or the other one is teaching them like how like this person plays a character as the same person as this character, and like they make that connection. And like, oh, like my 10-year-old, that's one of my favorite things to do. Be like, does he look familiar to you? And then like, oh yeah. It's just the connections that are made. They have that whole idea that they're an actor or an actress and they can play and portray different people as
different people in different movies. Yeah.
Yeah. And little kids just don't quite they don't grasp
Nope.
that until you point it out to them, and then afterwards they're like, he's always looking now for that connection from time to time. Isn't that
Sure,
so
of
and
course.
so? So I love that
I think
because
it's very.
that's me every time I watch a movie.
Mhm.
I don't have that kind of memory. I'm not very good with actors' names and movies that they were in, but we have a close friend. I wish that it's been a while since we've seen pre-COVID, since we've seen them. But one thing they were always good at was connecting movies via actors. And you could name two random actors, and within 6 movies, she would be able to connect them together. And I
Nice.
know that there are people that have this talent, and this was back in the days of like, using your phone to quickly fact check, like before IMDb was an app, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we would try to fact check her as she was, spouting out sometimes so fast, connecting these people
The 6 degrees of
every
Kevin Bacon.
time, dude, every time,
Mhm.
every single time. And like Karen's ability to do it was just absolutely uncanny. I've never met any other ability quite like that. Like it's just super amazing.
That sounds
Yeah.
like fun.
So
That sounds like a fun friend to have around for sure. As my wife would say,
agreed.
that's just useless knowledge. That's entertainment. So
Exactly. Exactly. Good for
And
trivia night.
everyone has a genius, you know. I mean, you may look at someone
Yes,
and you don't think they're a genius, but they have that thing that they're just so amazing at.
exactly.
Yep.
Genius doesn't always mean good at everything. In fact, I wouldn't say that it does. We all
Yeah,
have
Right.
I
our
would say it doesn't.
talents.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yep.
Well, let's turn the page a little bit here. I would like to get into talking a little bit about the presentation that you're going to be putting
Sure.
forth for Milwaukee. It's titled Exploring Gender Inclusivity: How We as Parents Can Make an Impact on Our
Hmm.
Collective Futures. So, just you don't have to get deep into what you're going to be talking
Sure,
about because I
sure,
don't,
sure, sure, sure.
but just give us like I guess like the synopsis of where this title came from and sort of what's motivating you
Absolutely.
to talk about it.
So here's where it came from, sort of like the genesis of the whole thing. At the end of it, last year was my first experience with DadCon, and I'd be remiss to mention that you were very instrumental in helping me ideate where to go with this based on our first interactions. And I think that that's something incredibly important to point out because throughout the entire experience, DadCon, including the leadership of DadCon, were exemplary in many, many,
Mhm.
many ways. From the way in which they handled my initial feedback, which seemed to have been echoed by many of the other dads, which was that the keynote from last year's opening didn't really or one of the keynotes didn't resonate with a lot of us because of the implied use of gender roles.
True.
And as a queer non-binary person in a family that is a same-sex relationship for all intent and purposes, there are no gender roles. There are just family roles. We have responsibilities that we do, and the work is divvied up based on who's able to do what and how everything, sort of pans out. And yes, being the primary, I take on more of the household stuff, but my husband takes on the work tour, bringing in
Mhm.
an income, allowing us to be able to live this life. So when you and I sat down, it got me thinking that, wow, there's still a lot of room for growth, and that folks like me have a space at DadCon.
Mhm.
And that was very apparent in the next couple of days as it played out. Now, when it came to this particular topic, really what I wanted to do is to help parents, dads specifically, understand that gender is more than just boy or girl, and that there is an experience that is gender, whether we realize it or not. Each of us have our own expression of gender. And what we are doing as parents is working to raise the next generation to do better. And ultimately, the outcome of this particular keynote, I guess is so weird to say that, is I'm going to hopefully uplift each of those parents that will hear what I have to say to want to do better, and how they can use what I call, like, this is my proud acronym, which stands for P being privilege, respect, openness, understanding, and dedication. But how we as parents, when we have privilege, we can use that to uplift those around us that need it by
Mhm.
showing respect for all the identities and experiences that each of us have, even if they're not our own, because it's those differences that make up the humanity of that tapestry of humanity. And that when we have openness, when we're open to learning, when we're open to growing, when we're open to having discussions, and even potentially to changing views, that leads us to understanding. And when we come to a place of understanding, we can then experience and empathize with others. And when that happens, when that connection happens, is the dedication. When we get dedicated to the idea of inclusivity, when we see that what we have as privilege can actually make change. And it's not always about the big changes that happen. It's about the small changes that are happening in the individual communities. And I look forward to bringing a lot of the examples of even me here in Penridge district, which, if you haven't Googled Penridge or heard of what's going on, we are a political hotspot right now, unfortunately, but how we as a small community individually are coming together to be able to make the changes that are necessary to happen. So ultimately, that's what I want to bring to each of the parents there, that gender is an experience that each of us has, and that it's not just reserved for necessarily the queer community. It's when we get to now look at it from a differentiation between what is sex and what is gender, and how we as parents, when we have a place of privilege, how we can use that to help uplift others and really usher in and champion diversity towards a better tomorrow for all of our families. So
mic drop on that.
That is, yay!
Wow, dude. First off, I got to say, what you were talking about at the beginning, with the conversation that we had in your room while we were doing nails, like I'm so glad that you pushed forward with it, because I know you were, when you told me about it, you're like, oh, I have this idea, and I was like, tell it to me, I want to hear it. And you explained it to me, and I was like, oh my God, like, you have got to like submit that. And you were very much like, I mean, like,
yeah, I was. I know.
I don't know.
So
like, I just don't know how people are going to react or whatever. And I'm like, I don't care how people are going to react. They need to hear it. And so I just want to put that out there first, that I'm glad that you went forth and actually submitted it. And everything that you just said, being someone who's white cis, like, and is in these interesting, very, like, I guess you call it cookie cutter parameters in some ways.
Sure.
I still, this topic is something that I want to have information and the know-how to be able to guide my kids and be a person that they can come and talk to. And I don't feel like, oh, I can't have this conversation, this is so awkward, like that kind of stuff, which is, I feel like, what our past generations of parents have gone through, and even some now today as well. But and so to me, like, I'm really happy that you're presenting on this.
I would be remiss to say I'm not nervous as hell, but I'm very excited.
You're coming into a very loving, supportive group of people that you know.
It's
so
true. It's so yeah. That it is. I'm so excited to see the family again. Like, that's kind of what it feels like.
Yep, I agree 100%.
And that was just after one little con. Like, and that one little con was actually kind of big. Like, it was. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some great people again. I have nothing but good things to say, truth be told.
And I'm glad to hear that, honestly, because and Brock and I have talked about it before. We as a board, being that I'm a board member, we dropped the ball. We, whatever happened, I'm not pointing fingers. I don't think it's any one person's fault on me like that, but
Correct.
It happened. It happened. And during that presentation, we were already, like, we use Slack to communicate with each other. We were already going, hey, what is going on? And it wasn't something, I will say too, there is room for growth, and that's true with
always
all of us,
each of us.
And I would say exactly each of us. And I mean, you would say, like, especially in this issue, of the three of us in this virtual room, this is something you could teach Brock and I volumes. I mean, obviously, but the reality of it is, you too still have things you can grow, places you can learn, things you can know, right?
Absolutely.
And being able to look at when we stub our toe, like we did, and say, this was a problem. We apologize. This will not happen again. We're doing this and this to change it. That we put these things in place.
And that's exactly it.
This is where we're going.
I think the most impressive thing, and I remember in sharing this when I was able to announce that I was asked to be a keynote speaker, there's a difference in putting in and investing in, let's say, a contractor to come in and evaluate where you are from a DEI perspective. It's another thing to then implement and do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And that you elected to diversify and to show it in so many different ways and not just one very unilateral way this is what this world needs, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
At period,
Yeah.
end of sentence. Doesn't matter how bad the stub was or smaller or whatever. What a pleasure. I don't want to curse. Hopefully you can edit that out.
No, you can
Yeah.
cuss.
Okay.
No,
We'll
it's all
edit
good.
it
It stays
if
in.
you
It's
don't
okay.
like it, but
Um,
ain't
Well, no,
bothering
yeah.
me.
Okay, good.
You can't say anything that I probably haven't heard already. So.
Oh, I'm
I-
sure.
Or said, probably said, yeah.
yeah, you're
Not
good.
at my kids.
Yeah, listen a couple episodes back and you'll understand that I got on my soapbox and
When
went
it
off
happens.
on an issue. But that's another thing. No, but the other thing too, with all that, so I think that I feel like, if you're not willing to learn from your mistakes, and if you're not willing to say, I'm constantly learning, then
Mhm.
you are playing the fool, basically. And that's the one thing that I feel like this organization has done a better job of, is not walking that line of like, oh, like we know best and all this other stuff. Like it's more along the lines of like, oh, like that was a mess up, or anything what it is. Like, I
Right.
mean, there's been multiple things over the years that the organization has gone through, but at the same time, like we've learned from them. We've, figured out how to maneuver things and make it better, and improve different areas. And so that's the biggest thing is, and I have confidence in the organization, especially as someone who is getting ready to step off of the board. And I've been on it for like almost 6 years now, which is crazy to think about. But just to see where it was and where it is now is night and day in so many ways, especially with the fact of the movement that has taken place just with building a JDEI committee and where that's going. And it's something that I feel like has always been sort of this, like, we want it to happen, but we don't know how to make it happen. Or, it was it got some wheels on the tracks and got moving, and then it kind of fell off of that. And then people were like, I don't know how to get the train back on the tracks, kind of deal. And so at this point, like, we're at a place where I feel like the train's back on the track. We've got a good group of committee folks that are working to, shovel the coal to keep the engine going and really moving forward.
I can't wait to
in a
see
lot of
everybody
different
again.
ways. So that to me, I'm
too.
excited for that too. I think, and it's a new group. It'll be a different group of guys. Like some of the guys that you met last year are going to be there, and then there's guys that weren't there that are going to be there this time.
Yes.
Don Hudson.
Yeah.
Usually he is. I haven't heard much from him.
I have to reach out to him.
He's always pretty quiet. Like, yeah. I will say Arvis will be there.
I'll get to see Arvis again.
So Arvis will be there.
So excited.
Yeah. Arvis is presenting, actually.
Delighted to hear that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get to see him again.
Right.
Yeah. So he's
same, because I knew why he was at the last convention, because it was like right by his house. I live here. Okay, cool. But
exactly.
So Phoenix to Milwaukee,
it was his backyard.
It's like, I don't know if you're going to make it. Yeah, I was so excited to hear he was, and then he wanted to do a breakout about the benefits of the Dad Lounge and things like that, and just wanting to be a part of the organization. I
love it
more and more and more. Now, and I told him,
I adore him.
When I met him, I said, look, you're, whether you want to be or not, you're a leader. And I'm going to say this, it's a pun. I'm a dad. I'm allowed.
Yeah.
People look up to you. And they do. And every time you're in a room, people are going to stop when you talk.
And they're going to go.
Yeah, they're going to go, who was
every
that?
Possible
Did
way.
you hear something? Was that thunder? But he's got so much to offer to the organization, as a father. And I'm so happy that he's getting more and more involved.
I'm really, that really brings me a lot of joy.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Awesome. He's really excited to be there.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot over the past
Yeah.
past few weeks, so it's
Good
gonna
little
be
getaway for him.
It's gonna be a good time for him. Yeah, his mom actually before she passed told him that she wanted him to go. Like,
Good.
like,
I'm
you
glad
need
to
to
hear
go.
that.
Like, you
I'm
need to
glad to
go.
hear
You need to
that.
have fun. These guys. And she was just she was so happy that there was a group of men who found that he had something to
He's such a good human.
give to others, and so we're very excited to have him.
Maybe I'll get to
have
paint
him
his
be there.
nails again.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. I doubt he would deny that.
He's great. He hits my inbox up often. He's great. Such a good guy.
Yeah. So he'll be there. It's just going to be good. Are you going to be able to? Are you getting in early? Are you coming in on that Thursday?
Coming in Wednesday early morning.
Okay.
I have to look at the itinerary and see what's going on that day, but I want to play in all the reindeer games this year. Last year I was definitely much more reserved and whatnot, but I feel like being invited as a keynote, I want to dive in a little bit differently this year than just as a breakout session person. So
do you play D&D?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be 100% honest. I haven't since I'm about 14.
Mm-hmm.
I did many years ago.
Do you know we're playing D&D?
I heard you guys are.
In
I would
Gary
be willing.
Gygax's basement.
Is it like a full den?
It's his basement. It's the basement where he played, where he created D&D.
You're kidding.
Right there. No, I would not kid about the Gygax. Go into his house. His sister owns it, and kind of, it's kind of a tour. You can get a shirt if you want one, that like a picture of a dragon on the house, whatever. I'm definitely getting a shirt but yeah, it's Gary Gygax's house, and we've got so far one guy running a game, and if we get really any more people, we're gonna have to run 2 games, which is awesome. But yeah, be in his basement. We're gonna order pizza from the place he ordered pizza.
Cool. So you're living the life, literally
living the dream. So
you and I are gonna have to connect through DMs and figure that out, because I might have to participate in that. That sounds legendary.
Well, you're in Discord, right?
So I'm there.
You're in the Discord.
I'm going to be really honest. I'm bad with technology and apps. So when I tell you that I don't really understand Discord, yeah, I know. Thanks. When I tell you I don't understand, I'm usually not that bad. I have to play around more, is really what it comes down to. But I see the different channels that are there.
That's fine. I think Danny, if you tag him in the Wednesday,
he did enough tagging.
I'm trying
to make sure
that's what I'm there for. That's what I'm there for. But it is on Thursday, and that means you won't be a part of the 5K and the photo walk. I think were the only other things that were going on Thursday. But it will be an all day. I mean, not all day, but it'll be we go out there in the morning. It's about 30-40 minutes away from Milwaukee, so we're going to drive out, play for 6-7 hours, and then drive back and hit whatever, and then go convention eve and all that. But
are you going to be the dungeon master?
Probably not. I'm going to try to play.
Okay.
I really want to play this year because I didn't get to play much last year, but I mean, I can, but
isn't Jonathan Long one of the dungeon masters?
Yeah, he's running it currently, but he literally said today, okay, we have 7 players. If we get one more, we're doing 2 games.
2 games.
Can't do 7.
That's a lot.
So I'm like, that's a lot. I can't even do 6 really. So, but yeah, I might run a game. I don't know. We'll see. But I usually run like a game for new players or players like yourself who haven't played in a very long time. And
oh my God, I wouldn't even remember. I don't remember the rules or anything. Like I'm not going to stand here or sit here, whatever, and be like, yeah, I don't remember any of it. I used to be a dwarf, or not a dwarf. I was, I was a dwarf. Yeah, I'm almost positive that's what I was back in the 80s.
Yeah, it's changed a lot, and you're welcome. And if you want to do it, and there is a slight charge for it, and of course the T-shirt is like $20 or something.
Of course.
If you want me to, I'll put your name in right now.
What is you gotta let me know the cost.
Depends on how many
you might have to talk off.
Well, they have to. Yeah, we can talk. We shouldn't.
We'll talk offline.
Talk offline. Yeah, but I'm putting your name in
there.
Hat.
We go.
That's fine.
There you go.
And if I'll pay for it for you to go if you want to. Because
you're totally fine, Danny.
Did you go to Convention Eve last year, Jeffrey?
Yes, where Convention Eve was at, we walked there, if I remember.
Yeah, it was that place that was kind of outside.
Yeah, outside,
inside,
inside. Yeah, and we got like there was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yes.
So this year's place is actually really cool. It's in kind of like a food court type of area, but we have like our own like separate space with like a patio outside and just a nice space inside or whatever.
Sweet.
So, but it won't be like super hot, and we won't have misters like trying to keep us
keeping us all cool like last year. Although it was pretty,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool by that time of the night.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
It was not too bad.
No,
but it's
it
gonna
was
be
awful.
But yeah,
it
so
was
it's gonna
horrible.
It was
It was
horrible.
terrible. It was the worst weather I've ever experienced. You're living in a desert. What are you people thinking? Sorry.
You're good.
Deep breath.
You're good.
Deep breath. And I'm from Georgia.
Oh, yes.
I have sat in the heat, man. I'm good with it. And I go out there.
It's a dry heat, man.
It's a dry heat.
It's
It's a dry heat in the desert. It feels like an oven. It just feels like an oven.
We were going to go hiking. We were going to hike out to these rocks outside this, and it's like, well, it's a medium trail, and I'm like, I don't know, I want to do a medium trail. I don't have my knee at work, whatever. We can try it. And man, we didn't leave the city. I talked to one of the guys that was going. He's like, "Are you going? Because I am not going, and I will die on the bus ride over. I will die." And he's like, "No, man, there's no way. I can't go hiking in this. People are insane." Sorry.
You're good. No. You're
put a little diatribe there. My bad.
You're fine. You're fine. My brother and sister-in-law live there in Phoenix, and I don't understand. It's so hot.
I will say I'm very happy to hear that you're coming in early, and it sounds like you're going to get connected on getting to do an extracurricular with everybody, because that's really one of the things about HomeDadCon that is truly just a bonus of fun, is getting to do that extra thing besides just the programming and stuff. So that's really cool. I think that it's always one of those deals, like it varies on the family dynamics on what dads get to come in at what times, because I know there are some dads who are like, I would have loved to have come in there, one, if they'd have known, or two, like,
right,
I'd have been able to barter just a little bit better with my partner to make that happen. Whatever it is, just depends on how it works out. But yeah, I mean, that's great that you're getting to come in early. I'm excited to see you, man. Like, it's gonna be great. I'm actually gonna be getting in early myself. And I'll be at the hotel on Wednesday, so I'll probably at some point cross paths with you. I'm hoping on Wednesday to actually go maybe see like the Harley Davidson Museum and the National Bobblehead Museum, because they're right beside each other pretty much. Yeah, there's a National Bobblehead Museum over there. It's really cool too.
Really? Is that really there?
Yeah, really.
Oh my gosh.
It's like right across the like river from the Harley Davidson Museum.
That exists. Like, there exists a building.
It exists.
It just delights me. It just delights me that you know about it, because I know you like bobbleheads. Right?
I do. I know
that you know about the National Museum, and you're planning to take time out of your vacation to go.
I'm planning to go. Yes. Well, if I had more time, I would have, on the way up to Chicago, I would stop at the National Mascot Museum, which is in Indiana. But I don't have time to stop there, so that's why I'm going to go check out the National Bobblehead Museum.
That's just too bad, man. That sounds terrible. I think you should make time in your schedule, man. You should just. I need pictures of you.
It's my novelty.
Like, look, it's the awesome. Falcon. Click or whatever. I don't know any mascots.
Hey, I was a mascot in college for a short period of time. So,
oh man,
but there's no pictures of it anywhere.
There's things you
but there are no pictures. There are no pictures though, because you don't know it was before it was before iPhones.
You don't know that.
I'm pretty sure my wife doesn't have any pictures of me in that eagle eagle costume.
We love furries too, so it's fine.
You're fine. You're fine.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we have come up against the wall here for time.
Yeah.
Did you have something you wanted to talk about?
No, I just remembered. It makes so much sense. The first time I met you, you're running around with a little shark blanket over your head, singing Baby Shark. We were all singing Baby Shark, for the video or whatever. It was really big at the time. And you come running around with a little, and I can't even see your face. I'm like, who is this nut job? Why has he got a shark? What is he doing? But it makes perfect sense.
And then I get voted on. I get voted on the board.
You're a mascot. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's what
it works.
That's where it comes from.
I mean, I'll still make fun of you, but it is beautiful.
I don't care. That's the fun part about being a mascot. You don't have to care about any of that. So you do it just to be made fun of. So anyway, Jeffrey, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Thank you
Honestly,
both.
getting to hear what you're going to be presenting on, I'm super excited about it. I think that you gave some great information for folks to be able to know who you are, to connect with you in other ways besides just your nails, which are always gorgeous and
Thank
just
you.
well colored with these beautiful like just designs and things like that. And I will make sure that we definitely drop a link to where people can find you on Instagram to follow you, because it is an account that is well worth following.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, I really appreciate the fact that you came on the show to talk with us.
Of course.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. You guys are great. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Yep. And just be ready for big hugs, man. They're coming.
Oh, I'm beyond ready. Yeah. I consent.
Danny's like
Danny, we've had some side conversations. I am so ready for that hug. Like so ready. So ready.
Awesome.
And wait, can I talk about a beer share thing or no?
Oh yes,
like,
do so. Yes. Okay.
Like I don't know if I'm allowed to drop this little bit of a nugget, but
bring it. What do you got?
If we can't, you're gonna have to edit it out. I'm saying that before I actually drop it. But I told Joe, he actually approached me and asked if I would auction off a manicure for the beer share.
Ooh.
And I was like, duh, yes. So he hits me up in my inbox the other day and he's like, so what are you going to do? And I'm like, well, it really depends on how much do you want the auction to start at? He's like, I know nothing about nails. I was like, well, do you want a basic manicure? Do you want a single color? Do you want gel polish? Do you want that? He's like, listen, I don't know shit. So I'm super excited because I'm going to bring a little nail kit and somebody will get, a manicure of their choice. I'll have gels and some regular polishes too. And so, yeah, I'm excited to be able to do someone's hands while I'm out there.
Nice.
That is exciting. We're keeping that in. That's going to stay in.
Okay, good. I don't know.
Joe can just deal with it. It's okay.
I'm excited. It's nice to be in a community that just embraces you, right? As you are.
Yes.
And
yes,
it's, you can't, there's nothing else there isn't a single thing I can say better than that. It's just pretty fucking cool.
Yep.
So
we're family.
That's it. I look forward to it. Yeah.
Hey, if you don't have your ticket to HomeDadCon, you can see what you're missing out on. So you might want to reconsider and show up.
And get your room because they're gone.
Please, yes, you got to get your room
because this family train is moving down the tracks.
I feel like I got the last one.
You probably did.
I might have. I think it was you that gave me a little of the nudge, Danny, to make sure that I got the room booked. And anyway, I'm glad it's booked. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
All right. Awesome. Well, hey, we're looking forward to seeing you, and we will talk to everybody else next week. So have a good one. And,
take care.
Have a great time. See you.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.